Hello and welcome, everyone. Uh, Thank you for joining us today on the webinar on the talent development and talent and professional methodological development in youth football. We just want to welcome every participant. My name is Joseph Nachi, the CEO and manager of Josepha Institute of Sports Coaching and Management Science. And today we're presenting you with an opportunity to upskill yourself as well as increase your competence when it comes to talent identification and youth football management. So on this basis, just to give you a run-up of what Josepha stands for. Josepha, we've been working across Africa as well as here in Europe. And right now we ventured more into the academia side and professionalizing of sports science and coaching and management aspect of it. So today I want to welcome you all and I will pass you on to our today's expert who put you through some of these programs. And any questions you may have, please do not forget to drop us an email or you can ask at the end of the webinar. Thank you very much. And I pass you on to Toni Ordinas.
Hello, welcome to everyone, and appreciated your interest to be part of this webinar. As Joseph said, this is a webinar that based on talent identification and professional methodology in youth football development. So we are talking about football, we are talking about the sport, but we are driving the attention to the youth departments and especially in how we can develop through the educational ages the talent of the players that and the boys and girls that we have in our departments. So thank you for being here, and we go. The agenda for today is introduce a discussion about talent identification. Definitive talent is one of the concepts that are still more in discussion today. What is talent? How we can recognize talent? Are we talking about a singular talent? Are we talking about a plural talent? The second point will be based on a proposal about long-term development. So when we are talking about youth football, are our effort, are our plans, are our coaching focused by just what is the outcome in the present, or are we developing things for what is going on the future times? And then we will focus on learning strategies and training methodology. What we should take in consideration, what should be prioritized on these elements. The theory, the proposal that you have here is the sum of my own experience, is the sum of 30 years working in educating talent for football in Europe, different countries, federations, clubs, professional clubs. So it's also obviously, as you can imagine, the also self-learning from other colleagues, from visiting top clubs around Europe and learning and sharing ideas and methods with different clubs, federations, and countries. So let's go with talent identification. If I showed you this picture and I ask you, is this for you a talent? I guess it will be multiple answers. That's my guess. Someone will look and say, okay, what we have in this picture? We have a kid. Yeah, we have a kid. Looks a happy kid. Yeah, looks a happy kid. Looks a physical, strong kid. Not exactly, to be honest. Looks a kid who is big. Not exactly. Actually, if you see the clothes, there is more clothes than body. It's just a kid. It's just a kid. So if someone has to say if this is a talent or not talent, probably will be different answers. The truth is that the kid that you see here is this person. and is this world-class player. This was Xavi Hernandez when Xavi Hernandez has 10 years and to start to play football with your friends. So that's the reality. Recognize talent is not as simple as try to see who is the stronger one, who is the quicker one, who is the one who score more goals, who is the one who win more tackles. The recognize talent and understand talent in football requires a process much more deeper than that. From my, as I say before, experience and the years that I have been studying different specialists, different professionals in sports science and in football, I arrived to the conclusion today. Maybe in 10 years, I will say to all of you, I go deeper in the topic and maybe I have another perspective. But today, I have the strong conviction that talent in football need to be expressed, need to be defined by different variables. For example, by the variable of the creativity. Do we meet a kid that is creative? Do we have a kid? Probably, I'm 100% sure that in your contest, you have kids who find solutions that anyone else, even not the coaches, were thinking when the game is going on. Okay, that's the creativity. That's the way how these players, how these kids play football in a different way than the rest of the kids in the same pitch. You have other kids who the main point for them is the physicality. They are quicker, they are fast, they move strong, they go to the ball or they touch the ball with some type of power. It's not that they are creative, it's not that they surprise, but the way how they compete is based on a big intensity effort. You have kids who resolve the game and do special things when they are in relation with the ball. Are they the strong in the team? No, not at all. Are they quicker than? No, not at all. But when the ball arrives to them, you see that there is some special things. The touches, the accuracy of the ball, the way how they position the body makes things in a different way. There are other ones who are the cognitive ones. For those who this concept can be a little strange, when I say cognitive, I mean the decision making, the way how they interpreted the game, the way how they interpreted the information around the pitch. Around the pitch, there is massive information. A space, opponents, teammate, ball, the rules of the game, the atmosphere of the game, the emotional aspect of the game, but they are capable to anticipate what is going on. I'm 100% sure those who are attending now and those who will watch the webinar afterwards, in your contest, in your clubs, in your teams, you have players who has the ability to recognize what will happen in the next 2 seconds. Are they the stronger? No, not at all. Are they the best ones thinking new solutions? No, but they are the ones who are normally well positioned. You don't need to correct them in terms of where they are located. They talk with the teammates. They are telling to the other ones what to do because they go in advance. You have other players who is not that are they the most technical ones? No. Are the most stronger? No. Are the most creative? No. But what they do is very effective. For example, let me put an example. I'm pretty sure you have a player who is very good in the dribbling skills. Okay? But what makes him or her special? He or she is using the dribbling in the right moment and in the right spaces. I'm 100% sure that you have another player with the same technical skills, but she or he is using the dribbling in the wrong way. So it's not effective. So to be effective, a keeper to be effective, when to go out, when to stay on goal, for example, this is part of being talented in the game. And there is a last possibility of showing talent, and is the mental aspect. Are you the most technical one? No chance. Are you creative? Not exactly. Are you effective? Maybe not every time, but they love the competition. They hate to lose. As more difficult the game goes, are more enjoyment they find. And we have another type of players, I'm 100% sure all of us we have, that they are extremely technical, extremely tactical, but if the game go difficult, they disappear. They are uncomfortable. It's possible to have players to have different talent, 100%. 100%. Look, these players. I guess everyone in this room will love to have these players in your team or in our team. Let's go to be honest. But all of them play this game, resolve the game, looks very good in the game by using different talent. So talent in football is a possibility of expression of your best that can be very different. And all of them have a space in the game. No. Hey, in my team, I only want technical players. Okay, then you are missing a big part of talent. No, hey, in my team, I only want the biggest ones. Yeah, but then you lose big part of talent also. So talent is the expression of all of this. Problem. Alarm. The alarm is that we must, especially in the focus of the topic today, youth football, we must be careful of two dimensions. The performance, what this kid is capable to do today, the outcome, and the potential. Because if we only focus on performance, if we only want to look what the boy or the girl is capable to do today, then it's obvious that we are going to pick the physical ones and the effective ones. We will not be interested in the other ones. Do you want to win today? Do you want to win with the kids 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years? Is this what you want? It's very, very easy. Pick the stronger ones, pick the effective ones. Then you will win matches. No doubt. How many of your players will arrive to the top level? Big question mark. Big question mark. Because you are not looking potential. You are only looking performance. This problem happens in many contests around the world. This is the age, the birthday month of the players who played the World Cup. It's not a crazy difference, but you can smell it very easy that the players born in January, February, March are clearly on top compared with the born in December, November, October. These are professional football players. And we can see that there is something is going on there. Now look the youngest, the professional under 21 European soccer players. Impressive, huh? If you are a player born in December, the chances that you get in football is almost nothing. If you are born in January, that means you have the same age, this player and this player, they have the same age, just that this one is 12 months older. That means more maturity. The chances to get opportunities in football gets much higher. And this happens in the youth system. That's an example of Italy, for example. This is the Serie A, the top professional league. The players born in the first quarter of the year, January, February, March, the ones born in the last one. But look down. This is the recruitment level, the B teams. This is down the 17 teams, 16 and 15. If you are a boy in Italy and you are born in October, November, December, you have almost no chance compared with the one born in January, February, March. Why? Because we are focusing on performance. We are trying to say, This one wins now duels. This one now score goals when he's on the 15. We are not projecting what will happen in the future, but we are focusing on now. It's possible to educate players to win matches, to have a winner culture, a winner mindset, and at the same time think about the potential of the player. Of course, it's possible. Believe me, it's possible. It's possible that both realities go together instead to go in collision together. I don't say, and I hope that message is very clear in this webinar, that it's wrong to educate players for winning mentality. It's an important part, a really important part. But winner mentality is not equal of big physical players. Remember that the talent is many other aspects in football. I want to present to you a proposal. It's a proposal that I made. I share with different federations. I apply in professional clubs. It's a model that has been well accepted in many, many international arenas, and is based in 3 levels, 3 stages of youth development. Is a basic foundation from 6 years to 12 years. What is the basic of this model? Why boys and girls start to play football? Why they get in love with the game of football? They start always, and if you remember your case, all of us start by being in love with the ball. All of us. Why we play football? Because we get in love with the ball. This is why when we are 6, 7, 8, and 9 years, if someone take us the ball, we cry. It's immediately. We don't accept that you or another one take the ball from me. And then I start to cry. But there is a moment, 10, 11, 12, that I realize that actually is fun, this. So I play the ball and I share the ball with some people, and in the same game, some other people try to take them, and we try to take from them. And that's really fun. And then we go from the ball enjoyment to the play enjoyment. We go from being in love with only the ball to being in love with the game. That's the first stage. What really matters here in these ages? The individual. There is no tactics. There is no team. Football is not this collective game in the beginning. Not at all. Actually, I hope you accept what I have been defending internationally, that in this stage, football is an individual sport. It's individual kids together, but the actions are totally individual. Sometimes, and we will see this later, is between 1, 2, and 3. There is studies, international studies, that prove that at these ages, the maximum number of passes before in these ages matches, some team lose the ball, or is 3 passes. No more than 3 passes. So 3 players are connected. That's football in the beginning. There is a second stage that I call the individual fundamental stage. Is the stage that I put from 13, 14, 15, 16 years. Is the most dangerous stage. Why? Because you know the reality. Many of your boys and girls stop to play here for different reasons. It's a big filter. And one of the factors that create the filter is the coaching style. If we want to pretend that the boys and girls in this age are adult, we are taking a big mistake. They are not adult. They are in the puberty. They are with so many physical, physiological, emotional changes. The body change, the mind change, the personality change. They need to define who they are as a human. So we cannot pretend to replicate the adult football in this stage because it's not correct. There are 2 filters that are very important. The kids who love to play here and enjoy to play, now they need to enjoy to learn. And this is a very, very interesting step, because we learn when we put ourselves uncomfortable. If I only do what I know to do, I'm not learning nothing else. But if I put myself out of comfort, I can learn. Let me put an example. You have players who are very good technically with the right foot, but maybe not so good with the left foot. Learning is to put them in context where they need to use and do mistakes and learn from the mistakes using the left foot. You have a player who is fantastic in the central midfielder role. But in this moment, we need to put him or her in other positions that can reach the experience of learning. And that's uncomfortable. And there are players who say, it's enough. I don't want to be uncomfortable. I don't want to learn more. Then it's difficult to progress. The second big filter, they need to learn and they have to enjoy to train. And when I mean train, I don't mean just the 90 minutes of your sessions. That's the easy part. Train means when the coaches are not there, how are you taking care of your body? How are you taking care of your resting? How are you taking care of your individual sessions? How are you taking care to prepare the matches? This is the training mindset. There are players who enjoy to train and do it so good, and they keep going. And there is other players, doesn't matter how good is the talent, that they don't have that mindset and they stay in the journey. There is a final stage, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. The data, not Toni Ordinas, the data tell us that the average age of debut in professional football in Europe, in all the professional leagues in Europe, is 22.3. So we have plenty of time to work with the talent. Plenty of time. We don't have to rush anything. But the truth is that we need to prepare a player here to compete in this stage. Because here, as you can see, it's about the enjoyment of competing. If you are afraid to compete, no chance, game over. Sorry. And the first competition is with yourself. I am a very good central back, but I have to accept that my club or my coach is bringing another one or two central backs, and there is a competition between us. If I don't accept this, sorry, I cannot be reaching the top. Then I need to accept to compete with older people, because if I am talented, I will be moved to an environment where I will play with older players, more experience, more mature. Okay, can I handle the pressure to be in that environment? So this enjoyment of winning and the hating of losing is what in the end, if you see the progression, will bring us a talent, a youth talent, the chance to play as a professional soccer player. In this webinar, in this part, remember that this is the part one of the webinar, and we are ready to offer to all one that want to join the next a second part where we will go deep in the practical of this theory. So in a theoretical framework, this is what is pretty important to prioritize. Just before I continue with that, if there is any question, please, Joseph, you just make me a notice, and then I give you to you, okay? Is any question, Joseph, that already we want to introduce here now? If not, just I continue. So there are three keys in these 6, 7, 8, 9 years. Is the importance to move to learn and learn to move. The motor skills. How you use the body to move in the space. How to use the body to coordinate your move with an element that is dynamic, is a ball. And if you know, I'm pretty sure those who are very familiar with these kids, they really struggle to coordinate the move. They really don't know how to move. They really don't know how the body has plenty of possibilities. Move horizontal, move forward, move backwards, jump, land, catch, they need to discover. So our training methodology cannot be based on passive drills, because passive drills will generate passive players, and passive players will create a big problem. I see that there is a question there, so let me that I open the, okay, that Joseph, you encourage people for asking questions. Good. There is a second element, priority in this phase: the perception, the vision, the scanning. If we train football players to look only linear, what is in front of me, they will forget, they will miss incredible information. So it will be very difficult for them to be creative, because they will not have all the information, intelligent, because they will take wrong decisions. So to educate players to move in 360 degrees will be critical important. A question here say, can kids between 6 12 play tactical football? Definitive, but if you let me just to go forward, I will introduce what is tactical in these ages. Okay, football is tactical. Let me put in this context: a 1v1 situation is tactical. I need to decide where I will, if I attack this space, right or left. I need to decide which is the timing. So a 1v1 is physical, yes. Is technical, yes. Is tactical, yes. Is emotional, yes. That's the holistic approach of this sport. So I will answer this question, and if when I arrive to that slice is not well answered or is still, please give me again this question, Joseph. The last point, critically important in these early ages, is touches, the ball contact. We have to maximize the number of actions where the kid has the chance to get in relation with the ball. Why? Remember, because they love the ball. So we cannot make drills where in 1 minute the kid has the chance to touch the ball one time, because it's so boring for them. If they are not in contact with what they love, the ball, then they are not interested in football. Then they prefer to just stop and go out. So move to learn and learn to move, perception and touches is the main priority menu of the top academies around the world to develop top talent players in this age. There is, let's go to advance on that. If we move to 10, 11, 12, there is a big change. Now the player is not just focusing on me, it's about we. I have the ball, but I am looking for someone to connect with the ball. I am defending, and I'm looking my teammate if my teammate is helping me or not. So the concept of collective, if you want a little bit more tactical way to think, not just me, ball, space, start to be there in a very basic way. I will show this in a little bit practical, and in the part 2, I guarantee to you that we will go deep in the part 2 of this webinar in the methodology of this approach. Another important question. In the early, we go from control. It's important to do things with control, because we don't pretend to do expert in doing wrong. I have zero interest that a kid learn to touch the ball in a wrong way, because this habit will go with him the rest of the process. So in the beginning, a lot of control, slowly, but little by little, tempo, quickness. So quick, technical quick, mental quick, physical quick will start to matter in that situations. The third key element when we are arriving to 10, 11, 12 is focus. It's very difficult to develop talent if during the practice they are not focused. If you remember the famous theory of the 10,000 hours, people only catch the first part of the sentence. Oh, it's needed 10,000 hours to become expert. Yeah, but sorry, it was a second part of the sentence that the people don't remember. 10,000 hours of focused, constantly training. I have to be very focused. When I want to learn a new skill, I need to be focused. When I learn to drive, I cannot learn to drive distracted. That will be a crash with the car. I need to be focused. So, how we develop the tensional skill of the players in these exercises, in these drills, is very important. And the last point is the attitude. The attitude to be curious. We have to develop on the players, on the kids, girls, boys, the attitude to want to learn, to be curious. Can I do this? What I can do different? What I can do better? Can you teach me this? This attitude cannot come from us. They must have this, and we can invite them to have this environment. Let me show you two examples of how looks football in top level for 12-year kids. These are 12-year kids. And they start to play soccer and football, as you see, using a lot of good content. But it's still very individual focus. Move with the ball, move without the ball, angles, passes. They do a lot of mistakes, but they learn to position. They learn to position depending how the ball is moved. They learn to press, but they still do mistakes. But they are experiencing a lot of concepts that they can use when they are older. This is not 11 versus 11. No, no. It's few players playing against few players and using all these concepts that we are here. Let me show another example. But it's how you position when the keeper has the ball, how to use the width, how is important to press so we cannot be surprised. When the ball is in the play outside, how we create advantages inside, how we scan to see forward. Now I'm back to the question, can we play tactical football when they are 12? Of course we can. This is tactical football. Actually, this is a really beautiful football. I don't know if you are agree, but I think this is technical, tactical, is a beautiful way to play football when they are 12 years. With a lot of trying to make combinations, but with control. What type of drills will give us these skills to play this quality football in these ages? The first thing, they have to learn to move, but they need to move quick. So all these exercises based on few players playing the ball, moving quick, turning, not just running forward, back and forth, turning direction, running with ball diagonally, running forward, running backwards. Remember the concept? Learn to move, move to learn. Can we do this with ball? Much better. Because they are learning to move and they are learning to be in touch with the ball. Can we do this in competition? So when we whistle, this is a competition between these two, because they love the competition, they love the games. And it's much more fun. And they are not thinking, we are now doing a drill of moving. They are thinking, it's a competition. We have to win now. Can we do it in 1v1 situations where the player, for example, who go with the ball, pass the ball, the white player take it, and then he can score here or here? Why we are doing with this 1v1? Are we developing the creative talent? Yeah, of course, because this player can decide whatever he wants to do with the ball. Are we developing the physical talent? The definitive quickness, stopping, accelerating, changing direction. Are we developing the technical? 100%. Touches with the right foot, touches with the left foot, 1v1 defending, dribbling, turning. Are we developing the cognitive? Yeah, definitive, because this player, when he becomes the defender, he needs to think how he position. If he come and position here, this player will go here. If he go in the middle, this player can go in both sides. So he requires to be very intelligent. Are we developing the mental talent? No doubt, because it will be a winner and a loser every time. Are these a tactical drill? Coming back to the question, 100%. They have a problem. Three attackers players need to beat the two defender players. And they have to progress and they have to connect there. And if they connect there, these two defenders need to go to defense there. And then we have the same drill. 3 versus 2, and they have to pro. It's tactical, yeah, because we work the combination between the players. They need to cooperate to defense. They need to cooperate to attack. What you see as a common of these drills? Do you see a lot of players? No. As much we minimize players, every player is more interacting and every player is more focused. Do you see complicated drills? No, simple. Because the football that we saw, the clips that we saw were a simple football. Do we saw that they need to wait a lot to play? No, they can really start to play as very quick as possible, and they have a lot of repetitions. 2v2 to finishing, same. A lot of individual concepts, a lot of talent ways to express in this game. It will be boys or girls who will try to resolve it by speed, another ones by technique, another one by being smart, another one. All these drills, and I will go much deeper in the part 2 of this webinar in explaining how these drills works. All these drills are drills that you will develop the talent in all the dimensions. The technical, the tactical, the physical, the mental, the intelligence, the effectiveness, but based on simple situations where the players are very, very connected, very connected. Well, there's a question here. Can you share the notes for us? The presentation, we will not share the presentation, but the presentation will be full available in the website. Joshua can explain this in the end. So in the website of Josefa, you can go and you can watch afterwards as many times this webinar, and it will be, remember, part 2, that this will be a certificate, that this will be explained later. Is physical development an important factor? Yeah, but I think we must be accurate what means physical. Physical doesn't mean strong, no, physical means coordinated, agile, quick. Remember, we are talking about kids that they struggle to move. Actually, many of them, if they try to move quick, they go down. So physical is not power, strength, that's later. Now is quickness, coordination, agility, learn to move, learn to stop, learn to turn. If you see the drills that I show, it's all based on these quick movements with the ball and without the ball. How can we overcome it to allow the youngest people to participate equally? That's a very good question. Very good question. For example, let me back to that slide. Or this can be an example. We can organize 2 different groups of this exercise. We don't need to have 20 players in this. We can create a group here and a group to the right side. And we can say 5 players here, 5 players here, 5. And then we can say, okay, if we have different levels of maturity, players a little bit more late development, can be physical or can be cognitive, they can be one group. So there is not a big difference. So everyone feels I can win this situation, because if we put the biggest one with the, so it's possible. Answering your question, yeah, in Everest, we can organize the same here. We can have 2 drills exactly like this one, and we just divide the groups based on the maturity of the group. Same here. 2 groups, same exercise, but these ones are a little bit more mature than these ones. So everyone get the right challenge in the game, no doubt. Let me go to another question was here. Is it possible to basic stage 1 and 2 recognize kids who has creativity? Yeah, 100%. Uh, if it's okay for you, in the part 2 of the webinar, I will show to you, to all of you, a video of Andres Iniesta with 11 years. Andres Iniesta, another world-class player, with 11 years. And you will see yourself the way how he played football with 11 years. And then I'm pretty sure that this question will be answered, no doubt. Because with what is difficult to recognize, if you put 11 versus 11 where the player doesn't touch the ball, that is difficult. But if you minimize and you play these small size drills, it's so easy to see it because they need to be connected on the situations. Thank you for the questions. Very appreciated. Very good questions. Now, a little bit more complex. You see, the level of complexity, 10, 11, 12, get higher. But still basic drills. 3 teams, possession. If the team lose the ball, they need to play and win the ball back. The offensive team play with the jokers outside. But this gets more difficult than the last one that we saw. Another one now is 4 versus 4, but with one difference. The white team only can score in the central goal, so they need to be intelligent how they attack. And the yellow team, they can score in 2 different goals. So the intelligence to how to attack is different than how to defend. Okay? What is getting more closer to the football classic is this drill. And I have a question for you. If every training that you have with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is based on this scenario, how many of these boys will be 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 minutes without touching the ball? A lot of them. A lot of them. But if we still divide this drill in 2, and we put a small goal here, and we put a small goal here, and we say now you play with the ball 3 versus 2, or 4 versus 3, and here 4 versus 3, and you attack in this way, and you attack in this way, how many times they will be connected? A lot of more. A lot of more. And it will be a learning and will be a preparation for the future. Let me check. I see there is a couple of more questions. How can someone develop a 7 to 13 years? Not sure, Jakes, what is the meaning of the question. You mean as a coach, as a player? So if you can develop a little bit better the question, maybe I can, but sorry, because I'm not now sure if I will answer you correctly the question. Because you mean in terms of what is the priority of work? So please, if you can develop the question, I will appreciate it. Can be possible for young kids to be touched to dribble the bells in different angles? Definitive. 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 So back to this question, is possible? Yeah, different angles in the 1v1. Let me just go back 1 second to this one. Oh, this can be also useful. 2 versus 2. The player with the ball can dribble in very different angles and positions. Maybe in this one you will say, Tony, but this is a very central one. Yeah, but let me do this situation. You can create your size in this way. And now you have fullback and you have winger. So the winger will dribbling in this space in this angle, because this is the angle where a winger dribbling, and this is where a fullback defends. Number 10, a striker will dribbling versus central backs here. That's the angle where the midfielders and the attacker, and here we can put again back versus winger. This is much more specific in the question that you asked me. We can do, as I said to you, we can do it in the opposite way. We can do it in this way. where we have a central back, a fullback, and a midfielder defending back, winger, a striker, and now it's 4 versus 3. But we are very specific in the angles. We have a 2 central backs plus a striker and 2 number 8. That is, and we are getting more complex, but these are more specific. I hope this answers your question regarding angles and these things. I should advance, but let me check if it's. I think I answered all the questions, just that I didn't understand so well. Sorry about that. But please, Jack, feel free to present again so I can go forward in the presentation. Okay, now I will move because we are getting more forward in time to the next stage. Okay, what happened between 13, 14, 15, 16? Now we start to think about player productivity. Now, if in your clubs, in your contest, you have a player that looks talented, is when you can start to think, oh, maybe this boy, this girl can arrive to the professional level. What he or she needs to arrive to the professional level? She or he needs to move effective. Why? Because football is high intensity. I will show to you numbers in the end. High intensity. So if the boy, if the girl doesn't move effective, the tank of energy will go down. So this will be the typical talent that after 60 minutes he has to go out because he's losing so much energy, because he's not moving effective, he's not turning effective, he's not jumping effective, he's not sprinting effective. The player needs to be effective in the touches. There is not so many technical actions per game. For example, let me put this question. A striker, how many shots on goal do per game? He's not doing 20 shots. It's not true. 3, 4. If the team dominated a lot, maybe 5, 6, sometimes 1. So the striker needs to be so accurate. Keeper, the same. The keeper is not doing 30 saves, no. 7, 8. But if he or she meets 3, we concede 3 goals. So the technical aspect needs to be very accurate in the touches. Need to be smart. If she or he take the wrong decisions, he will not move forward. Need to be committed, need to play with passion, need to give everything, because if the player doesn't give everything, game over. This boy or this girl will not move forward in the system. And in the end, needs to be brave, cannot be afraid to do mistakes, cannot be a player that, oh, I don't like to compete. Remember, the last step is competing, is hating to lose. Do we have a player who has everything? Wow, then your club will be millionaire. You know? It's difficult. It's difficult that a player has everything. It's an exception. So what is the reality? Players has a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and this is why we coach. Hey, welcome to coaching. This is why in the part 2 of the webinar, I will go on that deep there. This is why we need that all our practices reach the experience of learning. Because if our practice doesn't reach the experience of learning, when the player needs to do a little bit more on this, no, because the training process is not good enough. This is a technical overview. This is different countries. As you see, youth football players, the importance of the average of number of touches. As more touches you use, more learning, but there is a moment where the touches need to be effective. Because if you just transport the ball, that is not giving nothing there. This is high intensity actions. This is play tempo, possessions in one touch, possessions in short, long possessions. Look this, the average of time on the ball. If you see the Spanish players, probably one of the countries with higher production of talent players, the players are so quick with the ball. They don't transport the ball. But if you see the Norwegian ones, where I'm now working professionally the last 10 years, there is a culture of transporting the ball. This is why Norway struggle against Spain, because they play so quick football. Physical overview. This is what matters today. That's physical. Remember, in the early stage, it was quickness, coordination. In 13, 14, 15, 16, we have to build the physicality of the player. High intensity, top speed, acceleration, decelerations, sprints. And now look this. The top countries, Spain, very high on sprinting and high intensity. The Norwegian ones, the Scotland ones, bottom. We are not using high intensity actions per game in youth football. Huh? This is youth football data. Play tempo, the same. The quickness with the ball. This is an example of my club. As you can see, this is this year, this is the last weeks, 4, 5, and 6. And this is, we control every session our players, of youth players, how much they run in a moderate speed, high speed, sprint, and high repeated sprint, accelerations. And then we know how far we are from the match. And this is where we need to push them outside in the gym or before in other sessions. I jump to the questions. Okay, just a comment, but no problem at all. The pleasure is all for us. Is a big pleasure that all of you are here, and definitive, we hope that you enjoy the webinar, and we really hope that in the part 2 you will get the training to become expert on design the methodology for this talent development. From a tactical point of view, in these ages, what is important? In every session, in every training, in every practice, what is the phase game that we want to improve? And this is a game situation. And this means that, sorry, I need to probably do like this. It's 2 moments. Is the offensive and is the defensive. And the offensive is always the same, score goals. And the defensive, regain the ball, always. This is why we defend. We don't defend just to avoid the goal. It's to get the ball back to us. And that's complex because the players need to be connected. This is football. We will show videos of more 11-11 youth, 16, 17, 19 senior football in the part 2 of the webinar. But connectivity is that the players need to be connected. And this means individual talent, this means coach plan, and this means the game model of the team. Is a problem. Yeah, there is a problem. We are not playing alone. Sorry, it will be very easy football if we don't have opponent. There is an opponent who also has talent, game model, and plan match. So who wins this game? The one who is more effective. The team who is more effective wins the game. Let me put this video of Tuchel. Now, this was in the past when she was Chelsea manager. Now, as all of you know, the English national team coach.
Thomas, I read an article which said that you probably only spend about 10 minutes sometimes working on defensive skills, which I think may have been a little bit of a joke, but was that a defensive masterclass as far as you were concerned tonight?
Yeah, but we said, I said maybe 10%, not 10 minutes, but 10%. I think that to speak about training is a very complex approach. This is in what we believe. We do very few minutes. We spend very few minutes and moments in training isolated on defense or offense. We train in complex situations because the game is complex, and we don't try to divide the situations on an artificial way.
The football is a complex sport, so the training should be complex. We cannot do sessions where today we will only focus on the defense. It's not possible. If you don't tell me how you will attack, then it's difficult to understand how I will defend. You will attack me with long balls or with short combinations. Then I can decide if I go in high pressing or low block. So football needs the complexity. Attack and defense connected. Tactical intentions and technical intentions connected. Tactical intention and physical effort. Let me put an example. It's possible for your team to do high intense pressing without sprinting. It's possible, because I will love to see how your team is possible to do high pressing with no sprinting. It's impossible. It's possible to be building from the back with a lot of possession if your players don't recognize the game, the position and the angles, when to be open. Oh, it's not possible, because then the solutions are not there. So these need to be connected, okay? What are the keys of the learning methodology for this second big stage connected with the adult football? Repetition, repetition, and repetition based on quality. What this means? It means that we always have to do the same? No, not at all. There is variation in the drills, as we will see in the part 2. But we cannot train 100 different things, because one of the keys of the learning, I'm pretty sure there is learning expert in the room, is the principle of repeating. Practicing, reflecting, practicing, doing mistakes, reflecting, practicing. So repeat is very important. Are we repeating with quality, or are we doing the same mistakes from the session 1 to the session 20? Because if we do the same mistakes in the training number 20 that the training number 1, there is no learning there. So we need to provoke learning there. From individual role, what are the key actions of the central back? What are the key actions of the striker to the game model? Defensive line, attacking players, learn to play effective. Match a scenario. When you plan a drill, connect it with the matched scenario. Don't create artificial exercises, as Tuchel say. The 1v1 is a specific exercise. But if you play 1v1 with certain type of rules, as we will see in the part 2 of the webinar, this will not just generate any benefit for your teammates. Game understanding. When you practice your sessions, the player must be expert understanding the game. If you, as a coach, develop the smartness of your players, you are contributing so much to create a team and players who will dominate the game. What is happening? Who is the important one? Where now is the next action? When we should attack or penetrate? How we do it? Why we do it? The individual role training, for example, Euro strikers, if we want to improve the talent of Euro striker, how many shots are doing per week? Your central back, hey Tony, we would like to build a very good central back in my club. Okay, how many are duels he's practicing? Or he's only doing possessions? Or is she only doing long passes and not duels? And the desire to learn. Please, take care of to train and to culture and to be a role model yourself as a coaches of the desire to learn. All this will be presented in the part 2. The part 2 will be that scenario where we will go deep in presenting drills, contests, situations in the game to reach the theoretical part of this method that we present to you now today. I think I have 2 more questions that I think I can go straight now. What is the best age for kids to start doing gym sessions? Then I will answer to you, why the gym? What are we looking in the gym? Are we looking them to educate, to learn about the body? Then probably with 14, 15, with a very little weight, they can learn the training, the dynamic of the exercise, how to do a squat, how to do extension. It's more educational to be in the gym. If you tell me, Tony, but how I can develop the power, then I will say you don't need the gym. Then you can do it on the pitch by the right drills, as we will see in the part 2 of the webinar. But yeah, depending on this, we will always recommend to don't do it. But the top academies, just to educate the discipline to be in a gym, to put the things in the right place, to be in silence, to be focused, they do it very, very early, but not to develop the strength because they are not prepared. the point about the quickness, then I will say definitive. The quickness is very simple. It's about the 1v1, the exercise of 1v1 that we saw, the exercise about move, receiving, turning, escaping is the perfect exercises. Tempo is this. And then if you want tempo with the ball, then it's very easy. Then do this type of 1v1, 2v2 exercises with ball. For example, the drill to score goals in 3-4 small goals is perfect. Perfect. Then you can do this drill and you can say you have 5 seconds. For example, how much you use the time to stress the players. In my academy, it's obligatory for the coaches. When they do these things, they have to give a time to the players. You can score goals in 5 seconds, 6 seconds. And then you stress them because, oh, I need to score goal before 6 seconds. And then they start to think quick. But if you say, 1v1, score goal, and you have 20, then they do it slowly. Can you come again on offensive and defensive? I guess you are thinking about the part 2 of the, or you are thinking, sorry, not sure if you mean if I can go back to the slide or if you mean in the part 2. But if you can develop this question, I will do it. I have some players who have above 17 years. They were basic on for beginning. Well, when we have a player with handicaps, because the learning period was not positive in the beginning, of course, it's like if we try now all ourselves to learn a new language. I'm working in Norway, the last professionally in the professional. I was manager in the top division and academy director, and I tried to learn Norwegian, and it's difficult for me. But my kids, they came and from Spain in 1 year, all of them learn Norwegian. So as more adult, as you know, all of you, there is some difficulties because there is some habits there that we need to dislearn before we learn again. But the best way is to put in game contest. For example, they need to improve the technical level. Don't try to put them isolated in dribbling cones. No, they need opposition. They need to think. They need to apply the technique. So in your case, I will highly suggest exercises where there is opposition, because then they will improve all the aspects together, the tactical, the technical, the mental, etc. Bruno, thanks to you, Bruno, and really looking forward to see you in the part 2. It will be lovely to keep the discussion there. Can we do for late bloomers? Yeah. Thank you, Jeremy, for the question. The late bloomers is one of the most critical points, because we only look them by the age. It supports that they have to do that, but we are not looking them what the body is capable to do and the handle and the load. So what I highly recommended, if we have the chance to predict the not just the chronological age that we know it, the biological age, do some practicals where you split the groups based on the biological. So they will get scenarios where they can express much more themselves. And then for the latest, what is my suggestion? When you have the program for the 13, 14, 15, 16, or for the 12, then should be culturally no issue if we explain this in a very pedagogic way to the parents, to the players, to everyone, that this boy or this girl is for a period training under the level. And then he will realize that he is capable to do things. But I think we need a lot of pedagogical explanations to explain the benefit of this type of practicals. I think I answered this one about the players who are 17. These days, coaches are looking for dynamic players who can play more than one position. And what age is this introduced? Good question. Thank you so much for the question. Remember what I said to you about the youngest ages. There is no football as we know football when in the adult. There is no 11 positions. It's not true. maybe, I don't know, Joseph, you have to give me if I am still on time, if we need to stop. But I can answer this question, I think, much better for everyone.
Yeah, you have a few more minutes to conclude it.
If I go, for example, to this clip, if we look the clip again, okay, we see relations here, okay? We see football, that's football. But we don't see the full dynamic there. We see a player with the ball. We see a closer player who really don't understand what I should do because he's not offering any clear solution. We need another one. Look, the smaller one. But that's the typical Barca midfielder. Huh? It's cultural there. They pick a small boys, but so intelligent that he's recognizing, oh, I should come here because now the player can use me as a solution. We have another small one who is looking that. We have a fullback. So they need to resolve this in a very micro way. That's for me the key here. The key here is that it's very individual solutions. Very individual solutions. So back to your question is then, where are the positions here? Can I say that this is a number 6? It's difficult to say. You have only these positions here. You have a keeper, that is quite clear. You have defenders, 3. But is this right central back? No, there is no right and left. It's defenders. You have midfielders. And you have a reference on top that he moved outside. So is he a winger? Yeah, can be. Is he a striker? Can be. That's football in these ages. But the game is so dynamic because all of them are so connected. If you look at the situation, all the players are moving. That's not happening in the 11-11. You have players who are disconnected. But here, all of them are moving. So what positions are here? For me, I will say defender, keeper, defenders, connectors, and target player. And the target player move outside, move inside, and the connector go down, drop, and move up. The same with this one. If we are back to this one, look this. What are the positions here? Is this a fullback? Can be, but also can be a left central back. Is this a central midfielder? Yeah, can be, but look the boy. The first thing that he do is move up. So he become a number 8. Now is this a fullback or is a central back? So my suggestion to you is, in these ages, make the players understand the game in the dynamic. Don't say, for example, typical, no, you cannot cross the line and go up, because that's so limited. Midfielder, no, you cannot drop here. That's so limited. Let's go them to discover the space and respect. If I see a teammate who is occupying this space, don't come here, but occupy the free one. Now this space is free. The left one. When the player play the ball and go up, now he goes. Okay, now if I am this player, now I can occupy this space if I want. Now I see free space here. Okay, someone can come. That I think is more important and more relevant than positions. So in the early ages, experience the space, time, and technical aspects. That's for me is key. From 13, 14, 15, then we need to be capable to say where this boy can express in the best way. There are boys who cannot express in the attacking part. But there are boys who are not expressing the best of them in the defensive part. So then we can start to be more specific. If this answer or help to answer the question. If it's not, please just tell me or bring the question for the part 2 if you want. I think, or I try to answer everything, Joseph.
Yes, Tony, I think that will be it. Okay.
Thank you so much to everyone, and looking forward for see you in the part 2 that probably Joseph now you send some information.
Yes, everyone, thank you very much for joining us today, and really appreciate all the questions, your time, and I hope you've picked up one or two things that you can implement at your own clubs or your own grassroots or elite side of things. And we'll have to give it thanks to Toni Ordinas, who gave up time today to present this webinar. So from everyone that has attended, and including those who are not here, please do remember there is a part 2. And as Tony mentioned earlier, in that part 2, there is the chance for certification of both the part 1 and part 2. And all these things will be available on our learning management system, which is the Josepha Institute of Sports Coaching and Management Sciences. So we look forward to seeing you guys, and the part 2 will be out shortly, so you can all register directly on it. Thank you very much, and please do have a great evening wherever you are from. Good night.